Hello, good morning, good Sunday morning to you all. Well, I guess I will. Thank you. That's actually a little piece that Steve Allen wrote. It's called Gravy Waltz. So, to bring everybody in, you want to? Okay, sure. This is my big happy medley. Please welcome to the Bema, Reverend Dr. Keith Cox.
All right. Now, aren't we glad that I asked Andy to play another song? Spontaneity. Andy Belling, everyone.
Thank you.
Happy Sunday morning. Happy Sunday morning to you. Snow, if anyone else noticed that as you were playing, the sun came streaming through the window, so the clouds parted. So good morning, everyone. I'm Reverend Dr. Keith Cox. I am your spiritual leader here at the Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles, and it is my honor and my privilege and my pleasure to share this time together with you as we, as a community, come together to commune in the ideology of the teachings of the science of mind, which is a philosophy and a faith and a way of life that was put together, compiled as a book written by Dr. Ernest Holmes. And the concepts behind the book is that he took all of the great religions of the world and took what he thought were the best parts of those religions and put them together in this book to create this philosophy, faith, and way of life so that we all can find personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening as we use the principles of this teaching. We're also taught in this teaching that we have qualities that are imbued within us as being one with the one power, which are peace and power and beauty and joy and light and life and love and wisdom. Jim, for some reason, you have caught the attention of the entire audience as you're coming to sit down. They decided to pay attention to you and not me. So, star power, right? So, ladies and gentlemen, Jim Evering has taken his seat. How does it feel, Dan, that they didn't follow you? So he always defers you. So one of our guest musicians this morning, ladies and gentlemen, Jim Evering and Dan Tirman will be performing for us this morning. A nice surprise. So one of the things we love about this teaching is to be empowered enough to say, okay, back to me. All right, so back to me. Let's stay focused on me. It's all about me now. But that is one of the things that we know in this teaching, that it is all about me in the context that we have the power within us to co-create the destiny of our lives, to co-create exactly what we desire to experience and form. And we do that by paying attention to our thoughts and our beliefs and our actions and our reactions and our interactions to life itself, and using one of the spiritual laws of life, or all of them for that matter, that what we think becomes form. In other words, if you don't like what's going on in your life, change your thinking, change your life. So I'm happy that you're here today. Are you guys happy to be here? Yeah. Good. Oh, I love it. A loud group. I love it. Let's all shimmy and shake together. Happy to be here. That's great. Well, we're here today not only to celebrate life itself, but many of you are here today as first-timers because we're here to celebrate the life of Jenny Venturous later today. So I'm glad that all of you are here, that as we honor her legacy of life and the joy that she brought to all of us in life. But first, we're going to do our Sunday morning service. And prior to diving into the service, let's say hello to those watching us on Facebook Live. Hello, Facebook Livers. Live stream as well. And take a moment and say hello to each other. And while you're doing that, take time to turn off. Well, I didn't say do it yet. Let's stop. Remember, me. So prior to doing that, take a moment and turn off your technological devices that you have, unless they're supporting you by sustaining life, which means it's either for your heart or your ears, otherwise off or vibrate. Say hello to each other. Fantastic energy. You guys have great energy today. Thank you for that. You're welcome, Keith. Good. I think that I would be, yes. So Andy Belling keeping us entertained today. I love it. So, all right, so back to me. So that's going to be the theme for today. Back to me. No, seriously, back to me. For those of you that are still talking, Matthew, Sandy, back to me. Okay, so just two of our board members, setting a good example. So we open our service every Sunday morning with a ritual called We'll wait for everyone to get settled. Now, so I'll take a deep breath in. So we now move into the ritual part of our service, which is called Calling in the Light. And it's an opportunity for us to go inward and focus on the light of life that exists within us and to ground ourselves in a place of receptivity for what is to transpire through this service and the rest of the day. And so within this ritual, you have the opportunity to not only listen and hear what I'm stating in the ritual, but to do a call and response with Andy, which you can follow the lead on that. And then we will end by me giving you a spiritual mind treatment or affirmative prayer. So I'd like to invite up to the Bema as our illuminator, one of our fine students and a great volunteer here, and just a good gal, Nancy Rooney. You're welcome.
Calling in the light, calling in the light, calling in the light of love, calling in the light, calling in the light, calling in the light of love.
Today we perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples and all faiths, all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence, which we call spirit. The purpose of this ritual is to draw into our gathering this morning a conscious awareness of our oneness and the qualities that we possess as complete expressions of the divine. As we feel the vibrations shift during this experience in the morning, may we become ever more aware of the light of life that exists in and as all expressions of life, which includes you and me. The quality of the divine that we use today in our ritual is power. Let's use this acronym for the word power during our ritual so that we may embrace our light in a more expansive way today. Power, as we know, is spelled P-O-W-E-R. The acronym is presenting our wholeness enhances reality. As Nancy lights the first candle for the letter P, which stands for presenting. In this context, presenting is the action of consciously sharing the presence. In the book, The Science of Mind, it's defined as follows. To meditate upon the presence of God is to indraw the universe into one's own soul. We light the second candle for the letter O, standing for the word our. Being one with all life, Dr. Holmes addresses the one, our, in this quote. The one spirit has placed the stamp of individuality upon itself and called it you. Moving to the letter W, Nancy lights that candle for wholeness. In spiritual terms, when we are speaking of the whole, we are speaking of the divine, which is also known as source or God or the thing itself. As we move to the next letter, E, we light this candle for the word enhances. Synonyms for this word are intensify, increase, improves the quality of. So let's know together the conscious engagement of our thought regarding our wholeness right now is intensified and increased, and all on this planet and beyond benefit from this action. Moving to the last letter, R, Nancy lights this candle for the word reality. In spiritual terms, reality means that which is indestructible, incapable of decay. It is unchanging and everlasting. Presenting our wholeness enhances reality. So I invite you to close your eyes and just see yourself presenting your wholeness, your divinity in a new way today, that enhances the reality for yourself and all. we move to the sixth candle, the healing candle. I ask you to take a moment to think of anyone that you'd like to silently put into the light of the healing flame, to experience the eternal and the everlasting love of the divine.
I am love.
I am love.
I am peace.
I am peace.
In my heart,
In my heart,
I am free.
I am free.
I am spirit.
I am spirit.
I am soul.
I am soul.
All together,
All together,
we are whole.
we are whole. Calling in the light. Calling in the light.
Calling in the light of love. Calling in the light. Calling in the light. Calling in the light of love. And so it is. And so it is. And so it is.
So I invite you to close your eyes if that's not the case already. Just feel the energy in this room in this moment. That which is transformed from exuberance and fun and liveliness into the state of calm and peace and simplicity. So I know for each of us that we know that the energy has not become anew. It's just shifted. It's the shift of the only thing that there is, which is life. And so today we come together by divine appointment, trusting and knowing that we're here with purpose, to become more awakened to the only thing that exists, which is life, and to become more aware than ever before that we're always at choice. And so we choose to be present in the moment, allowing the divine to present to us an expansive way of thinking, greater clarity on who we are as divine beings, and greater faith in the law of life. And so we stay present during this experience called the celebration service, with a deep sense of gratitude for the opportunity to slow down and be present and listen. Today we honor our beloved Jenny Ventress with a deep sense of gratitude for the light of life that she brought, not only to the sinner, but to each one of us that knew her, knowing that her light continues to shine. And we're deeply grateful for being the recipient of the ripple effect of her life. Here we grow again, and we let it be, as we say together, and so it is. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Nancy and Andy. And thank you to each of you. So you're in for a treat today musically. Well, you're in for a treat in general today, but as well musically, because two of our members are sharing their talent with us today. And so Andy brought that to me as an idea, and we're like, well, yeah, let's do it. That's trying something new. And so our first artist today, many of us know, who's going to share his talent and light and life with us. Please welcome to the Bema, Dan Tirman.
I don't remember you. I don't remember you. I can't recall a single thing we used to say or do. What dancing in the park, what laughter in the dark, What smoldering fireplace that lit your face with every spark? And if I left you once before, somehow I can't recall it anymore. That was another time and place. Although you bear a faint resemblance, you're another face. Yes, I was wrong. This feeling is new. Although I can't, I won't, I don't remember. Wait! I remember you. You're the one who made my dreams come true a few kisses ago. I remember you. You're the one who said I love you too. And I do, didn't you know? I remember too a distant bell and stars that fell like the rain out of the blue. When my life is through and the angels ask me to recall the thrill of them all, then I shall tell them I remember. Tell them I remember. Tell them I remember you. Thank you.
Dan Tirman and Andy Belling. Kind of the story of life sometimes, right? Like, who is that? Who is that? Oh, yeah, I know you. So we're going to close out today the monthly theme of energy. On energy. And so I want to share with you some stories around choice, because one of the things that we are always at in our life is at choice. If you remember, Gary Zukav tells us that choice is the engine of evolution. If you choose to evolve consciously, it's better. If you choose to evolve unconsciously, not so good. He goes, I've done both, and consciously is much better. He goes, that choice is the greatest gift we've been given in life, second only to the gift of life itself. So I'm going to share these little stories with you of people using their choice. I'm sure you can relate to it as an awakened metaphysician. The first one is, once all villagers decided to pray for rain. On the day of prayer, all the people gathered, but only one boy came with an umbrella. Well, now that's faith. When you throw babies in the air, they laugh because they know you will catch them. That is trust. Every night we go to bed without any assurance of being alive the next morning, but we still set the alarms to wake up. That is hope. We plan big things for tomorrow in spite of zero knowledge of the future. That is confidence. We see the world suffering, but still we get married and have children. That's love. On an old man's shirt was written a sentence, I'm not 80 years old. I'm a sweet 16 with 64 years of experience. Now that is attitude. So what we're being told here is that we can choose to use our energy by having faith, trust, hope, confidence, love, and obviously attitude. And then we're always at choice to decide how we want to show up in life, how we choose to use our energy. Dr. Ernest Holmes, the founder of the teaching of the science of mind, wrote this in regards to energy. Energy is a divine and unfailing attribute, and consequently, there is never any lack of it. Now take that in for a moment. There's never any lack of energy. Is there ever a moment in life when you may feel that you have a little less energy than you had before, or that you don't know where to go to get it? It's always there for us. It's called life. He goes on to write, always the word carries the idea of strength, vigor, potency, vitality. In metaphysics, it may sometimes be used synonymously with life, spirit, or divine energy. He goes on to tell us that thought is creative energy, shaping the undifferentiated substance into form. There is a form of mental energy defined as the ability to move objects without physical contact. That's called telekinetic energy. So today it's my goal and objective to not necessarily call you to use your telekinetic energy in life, but to use your thought in a new way today to know who you are and to consciously invite yourself, to instruct yourself, to use your energy and to let it flow. To just live in the flow. Energy, as we know, is vibration, just doing its thing. We're taught that nothing rests, nothing, that every single thing moves and vibrates. At the most fundamental level, the universe and everything which comprises it is pure vibratory energy manifesting itself in different ways. So just take a moment and process the energy that is vibrating in and as and through you right now. It's cellular, it's molecular, it's alive, it's vibrant, and you're vital and strong because of it. If you believe and if you understand that everything is energy, you can also understand that everything that you think, believe, and feel consists of energy. Your attitude or focus actually vibrates. And those vibrations affect the quantum fields that underlie, constitute, and determine the outcome of physical matter. Hence, your focus actually has the power to alter the appearance of your physical circumstances. Anyone ever use their thought in a way to alter the external? We all have. And the truth is, we are all doing it all the time, whether we're conscious of it or not. But in this teaching, in this philosophy, we've been given a gift to know that we can choose to do it purposefully and intentionally, and that life will respond to us. Energy flows where attention goes. Dr. Maureen talked about it last week when she talks about Ernest Holmes tells us that consciousness precedes us. Consciousness precedes us. Think about that. Prior to your showing up anywhere in life, your consciousness has shown up first. So the question then is, what consciousness are you bringing to life? If that energy field is preceding you, what does it represent? Does it represent clarity and peace and power and beauty and joy and life, light, love, and wisdom? Or is it confusion, unhappiness, sadness, fear, anger? Fill in the blank. We are at choice always. It's important to know that we're free to make whatever choices that we want in life, but we're not free from the consequences of the choice. Dr. Ernest Holmes tells us the way it works in life, that there is a universal mind, spirit, intelligence that is the origin of every single thing. It's known as first cause. It is God. It is the universal life and this universal life and energy finds an outlet in and through all that is energized and through every single thing that lives. There's one life back of everything that lives. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I've been on this teaching for a long time. And every time I hear that statement, it kind of blows my mind. If you think about it, there's one life back of everything that lives. And we live in a world where we're realizing more and more day by day that the cosmos is more infinite than we ever imagined. And so the very force of life that is alive in every aspect of the cosmos, that is beyond what we can comprehend, is the same life force that is back of the energy that exists within you and within me, and is the same energy that we get to choose to use in a way to propagate good and to attract into our world more and more and more of that which we desire to express and to experience. This energy that Ernie talks about, he says, is in everything. It's one spirit back of all expression. That's the meaning of the mystical saying, in him we live, move, and have our being. Now let's reframe that in metaphysical terms. In it we live, move, and have our being. So I ask you, are you ready today to think anew, to make a choice today, to live not only as a conscious evolutionist, but to consciously live greater in the flow of life than ever before? Than ever before, to stay present in your awareness that all there is God, and then be present in your awareness that all that there is God, and then be present in your awareness that all that there is God. And then choose to be present in your awareness that all there is God. And then to take a deep breath in and to exhale and to be conscious and present in your awareness that all there is God. And in so doing, when we choose to live life from that perspective, to use our mental energy from that perspective, we begin to develop and expand a consciousness that is in alignment with the very power itself, the energy of life itself. And in so doing, because we live in a universe that is governed by spiritual law, meaning that we get to experience life relative to the presence that we choose to have in our awareness, then we get to see in the external form what the hell's going on in our mind. And then we get to choose to determine whether the hell is life or heaven is life. Not as an external experience in the afterlife, but an experience in life that is a result of what's taking place in our mind, as it's taking place in our mind, as it's taking place in our mind, because the only place it does take place is in our mind. In the article, Let It Flow, Let It Flow, Let It Flow, this is written: the secret to achieving flow is to understand that what is flowing is energy, especially the high vibratory energy of love. Now, I love this definition for love, which typically we hear love in this teaching as love is the self-givingness of spirit whose desires to create more of itself out of itself, and the only way that it can do that is through you and through me. Here, love is addressed as the fuel that the universe and all of consciousness runs on. Everything else is just fumes. So I'm going to read that to you again. Great, right, Lenore? Yeah. Love is the fuel that the universe and all of consciousness runs on. Everything else is just fumes. She goes on to write here, whenever we act in a manner that is not in the direction of love, now remember love as one of the qualities of the divine that we're each imbued with. Whenever we act in a manner that is not in the direction of love, in relation to ourselves or others, we create an energy block. Things then don't go our way. Sure, through sheer human willpower, we can sometimes temporarily break through these blocks, but it doesn't last. She goes on to say Lance Armstrong, Tiger Woods, and Bill Cosby are all good recent examples of that. New energy blocks form. We then continue to push the rock up the hill instead of letting it roll freely beside us. And what do those energy blocks manifest as? Stress, illness, unhappiness, lack of abundance, anger, fear, violence, and more. When you look at all the major conflicts around the globe and the unresolved problems at home, you realize that in all cases, it's because of a lack of love between the participants. Specifically, they are situations where people see themselves as different and separate from others, and where they believe their own needs are the most important. They've not yet come to realize that we are all one, all interconnected. The same goes for the personal lives of every one of us. If you're not getting what you want, feeling what you want, or experiencing high levels of joy, happiness, and abundance, then unblock and let love flow. And in the process, help others increase their energy. The more you give, the more you get. Now, this isn't a new concept for us. It's a very basic fundamental of this teaching is that you get what you give. That as we replicate nature, the nature of nature isn't to get, it's to give, so that we stay in the flow of that reciprocal act of that. I've shared with you before that my teacher, Dr. Kennedy Schultz, used to tell us that on Saturday nights, everybody got it wrong because they didn't understand that what you're supposed to do on Saturday night is go out to give laid, not get. You are awake. That it's important for us to know how we're using our mind and our actions and our energy, and to conserve that energy as well. But it's important to understand energy, that energy can neither be created nor destroyed, but can be transformed into other forms. This law, the law of conservation of energy, can be dissected into 3 statements. Energy cannot be created. Why? Because it's already there. It just exists. Energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be converted from one form to another. So once again, your invitation today is, are you ready to use your energy in a new way in life? Well, let's take a look at energy and how it works in the ecosystem. Energy, in the article written Energy Flow and Ecosystem, energy moves life. The cycle of energy is based on the flow of energy through different trophic levels in an ecosystem. Our ecosystem is maintained by the cycling energy and nutrients obtained from different external sources. At the first trophic level, primary producers use solar energy to produce organic material through photosynthesis. The herbivores, at the second trophic level, use the plants as food, which gives them energy. A large part of this energy is used up for the metabolic functions of these animals, such as breathing, digesting food, supporting growth of tissues, maintaining blood circulation, and body temperature. The carnivores, at the next trophic level, feed on the herbivores and derive energy from their sustenance and growth. If large predators are present, they represent still higher trophic level, and they feed on carnivores to get energy. Thus, the different plants and animal species are linked to one another through food chains. Decomposers, which include bacteria, fungi, molds, worms, and insects, break down waste and dead organisms and return the nutrients to the soil, which is then taken up by the producers. Energy is not recycled during decomposition, but is released. So why did I share that to you? I shared that with us today because I wanted it to be an example for us to realize that the energy that we use in our mind is doing the same thing. It's being released as it appears to be decomposing in life, but it's not. It's just waiting for us to call it forth to be transformed into something new in our life in form. It's the same thing at all times as our mind is co-creating with the universe and experience. However, we are not bound by our previous thoughts. We're not bound how we've used our energy before. We're not bound at all by the past, unless we choose to believe in our minds that we are. Because the principle of life is not bound by precedent, as we know. So then what are we here to do? We're here to use our minds in a new way to start anew today. To use the practices and the principles of this teaching in a new way today to co-create something new that really is only new in form, but it's not new because the energy has always existed. So today, what vibe are you bringing into the room? I love this little writing that says, in religion, we call it spirits. In science, we call it energy. In the street, we call it vibes. All I'm saying is, trust it. Trust your own power today to use your vibes in a way to manifest more good in your life and to become conscious of how you are practicing using your spirituality and your mentality, which is called spiritual mind practice. Spiritual mind practice is the very essence of faith. It's the essence of conviction, an act of assurance, a complete surrender of the will to a willingness to believe. a complete abandonment of thought to the invisible. But the practitioner, those that use their mind in a way to enhance their spiritual nature, adds law to their faith and spiritual principles to their religion. They add a conscious use of the law of mind to their conviction of the presence of the Spirit. Remember, I said earlier, our call is to become present, to be aware of the presence of the power in our awareness, and then to become aware of the power and the presence in our awareness. In doing this, bringing the law to our faith and our spiritual principles to religion, we bring the personal to bear on the impersonal, which is principle, while at the same time we unite our consciousness with the peace, the poise, the power, the beauty, the joy, the light, the life, the love, and the wisdom, which the Spirit must be and expresses itself as you and as me. And so some of the practices that we use in this teaching to help us align ourselves and use our energy in a way that reflects our divinity are meditation, spiritual mind treatment, taking full breaths in life, placing our hands on our hearts. And I'd like for us to practice some of those right now just to become trained in a new way. So let's all close our eyes and meditate by feeling the presence of the divine. And when you stray, just bring your mind right back. Another practice that we use in this teaching is spiritual mind treatment, which is aligning and affirming that there's only God and that we're each individualized expressions of that power. And that as we declare the very thing that we desire to experience, in other words, I am clear, I am purposeful, I am real, and then release that back out into the universe with a sense of gratitude, it must show up in form. So continuing to look at these practices, I invite you to take a full, deep breath in on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3, inhale. Imagining that you're being breathed by God itself, and exhaling. Now use your energy to place your hands on your heart, reflecting upon the spiritual idea that you are peace, power, beauty, joy, light, life, love, and wisdom. And then say with me, I am the power. I use my energy wisely. I live as love. And I am grateful to be. So those are very simple practices that we can each use daily to use our energy in a way to express and expand more and more of the good that already exists by means of life itself, and have the opportunity to cherish good that exists right now, because it does, as you and as me. Have a good Sunday. Thank you. Thank you. For your next musical gift, we have Jim Evering.
This song reminds me of the spirit of Jenny.
Hi, how are you? Good.
So I want to dedicate it to her. No complaints, no regrets. I still believe in chasing dreams and placing bets. And I have learned that all you give is all you get. So you give it all you got. I've had my share, I drank my fill, and even though I'm satisfied, I'm hungry still to see what's down another road beyond the hill and do it all again. So here's to life and every joy it brings. Yes, here's to life, to dreamers and their dreams. Funny how the time just flies, how love can go from warm embrace to sad goodbyes and leave you with the memories you memorize to keep your winters warm. But there's no yes in yesterday, and who knows what tomorrow brings or takes away. As long as I'm still in the game, I want to play for laughs, for life, for love. So here's to life and every joy it brings. Yes, here's to life, to dreamers and their dreams. May all your storms be weathered and all that's good get better. Here's to life, here's to love, here's to you. May all your storms be weathered and all that's good get better. Here's to life, here's to love, and here's to you.
Beautiful. Take a bow.